And we're going to cross over live to Beirut, where Mr. Alberto Garcia Watson is joining us. He's a human rights activist, and we're going to discuss our top story, of course, coming out of the occupied territories, where, of course, tensions have been heightened, especially because of Israeli provocations at the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Mr. Watson, thanks very much for joining us, as always, here on Press TV. I'm wondering, what are your thoughts as, of course, we're seeing these clashes play out, the Israelis, of course, increasing their incitements through the Al-Aqsa Mosque and limits on it?
Well, definitely this is one more provocation towards the Palestinians. This is a way of encouraging the Palestinian population to uprise again. And as it happened after the prayers, the Friday prayers, we saw the clashes taking place. In Bethlehem, we saw near Ramallah, we saw in Gaza already 6 casualties, 6 Palestinians killed by snipers, shots to the head and to the heart. 50 injured, 10 of them in critical condition. One young woman shot almost to death in Afullah in the West Bank. What else does the Palestinian Authority and the Palestinian leadership need to call for a real intifada at this point? It's actually a provocation. I think at this point, very much the Israeli authorities are trying to provoke enough the Palestinians to come up to an intifada, to eventually use all their power and force to overtake and annex the West Bank and eventually Gaza. What happened today in Gaza just shows what actually is happening every single day after the truth was accord between the parts after the 2014 summer massacre in the Gaza Strip. And it's that on a daily basis, Palestinians are being killed. Snipers are shooting at farmers. They're shooting, like this morning, early this morning, to fishermen going out in the Gaza Sea and making what an Israeli politician said today, an activist, making Palestinians' lives absolutely unbearable. Palestinians at this point are just fighting for their life, while the Israelis are fighting for occupation. They're actually fighting to keep and preserve their privileges and their power over a land that it doesn't belong to them. I blame this as much as I blame it on the Israelis. I blame it also on the Palestinian leadership. The Palestinian leadership should have taken already measures. And like Ismail Haniyeh said today, that intifada is the path for liberation. Well, an intifada involves not just the population taking suicidal methods like stone throwing and using kitchen knives. You have the mukawama, you have the resistance, and they should fully get involved in confronting the attacks. The attacks by the Jewish settlers in the West Bank are happening on a daily basis, and people are dying every single day. Of course, this is not headlines in the Western media, but it's happening on and on. And stones can be a very symbolic way of fighting the Israeli occupation. But the leadership should gather together, and they probably should leave other goals like Syria, where we see some of these groups getting involved together with the rebels, or together with the Palestinian Authority supporting the bombings in Yemen. Actually, what they have to support is their own people, and they should call really for an uprising, and they support this uprising. We've known already from Abbas, as he said a few months ago, that as long as he is alive, it will not happen a third intifada. But at this point, there's no other solution. There's no way to negotiate with Israelis that are already decades trying to negotiate and giving up and giving in. Settlers are taking over already, with 500 more units are going to be built in the West Bank. And today, we see photographs, and it's viral, the photograph of the mayor of Jerusalem with a machine gun going in the streets and calling for Jewish settlers to take their guns on the streets and show their power towards the Palestinians. At this point, as I say, it's a tremendous provocation. I don't know if it's in the real interest of the Israelis for the intifada to really take place, so they can really, with their tremendous power, take over the Palestinian land. But what I see, one thing, is that the Palestinian people are orphaned, absolutely orphaned of leadership.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there at that point. That was Mr. Watson, Alberto Garcia Watson, pardon me, who'd been speaking to us live from Beirut. Mr. Watson, of course, we do appreciate your taking your time out to speak to us today.